Hi everyone. So today is an exciting day. We have finally received the package from AroidAsia, a plant nursery in Indonesia who had reached out to me a while ago wanting to send me some plants. So I am super excited that this is finally here. This is going to be an interesting unboxing video, and I will tell you why. This is like all tape on this. I've never seen a package so well taped in my entire life. I feel like this is going to be extremely difficult to get into, but we are going to do our best. And I did notice that part of the packaging is popping out here, so hopefully everything inside is okay. So let's just go ahead and get into this box, because these poor plants have been like in this box, I think for almost 7 days now. So I'm just gonna get to work with my scissors here on trying to get this box opened. So while I am trying to cut into this box, I thought it might be kind of fun to have you guys comment down below and let me know if you think I'm gonna be getting any wish list plants in this box. And if so, maybe how many you think I'm going to get, or which specific wish list plants you think might be in here. And I will let you know that there are only, I think, 6 plants in here, so don't guess higher than 6 or else you will be wrong. But yeah, I just want to see what you guys think. So comment down below and let me know. This is taped up so well, you guys. I mean, I guess that's good for like the plants that they're so secured in here, but it's definitely difficult for actually unpacking it. All right, you guys, I have got it open and everything looks very secured inside. I will say this is so far looking very nicely packaged. So we're just gonna start pulling out some of these plants and see what we got and kind of how they're looking. This is my first imported delivery of plants, and I am going to be acclimating them immediately after this. I'll talk more about that here in a bit, but first let's check out what we got. Get all of this cotton out of the way here. Ooh, I already see names on packages, you guys, and I'm getting so excited. Oh my gosh, I don't know which one I want to open first. I don't even know. I don't know. Okay, you guys, I think we're going to start with this one. It's on the top, makes it easier, right? Well, technically there's 3 on the top, but it's like the biggest one on the top. So let's start here. And I already saw what was written on the outside of the paper on this one. I am so excited about this. This is actually going to be the first plant of this genus that I own, which might shock some of you. I really do like these plants, but they don't sell them. Well, I don't see them sold a lot in my area. Like in person, I would have to order them online. And I don't know, when I've never had a genus of plant before, sometimes I just like to be able to see it before I buy it. But this particular variety of this one, I think I would have had to order from overseas regardless. So I'm super happy that this is one that they sent me. Man, this stuff is taped super well, you guys. Like, it's layer upon layer upon layer of paper wrapped around these plants to protect them with all of this tape. So let me get my scissors back out here so I can try and cut this. So while I'm trying to get into this, like I said, I am going to record, or I'm going to start acclimating these plants immediately after filming this video, as soon as we get them like all unboxed and everything. And I am going to record the entire process that I'm going to do for acclimating them. And then I will release that for you guys, but I want to do it like start to finish. I want to be able to actually show like how well the plants did from what I did to try to acclimate them, or how not well they did, but fingers crossed they do very well. So I want to be able to show you like start to finish. So even though I am going to start recording that right after this, you guys probably aren't going to get that video for another like month and a half or so. Let's see here. So it looks like every single individual leaf is wrapped separately. So I'm having to be really, really careful about how I'm cutting through this, because I don't want to accidentally like cut into a leaf. All right, you guys, I got our first plant free, except for the wrapping around the roots. I haven't tried to take that off yet, but I will say one of these leaves is not looking too fantabulous, but you know, that kind of thing can happen when you're shipping plants just in general, never mind completely overseas. So this leaf looks like it might not make it, but we do have 4 leaves here, and I'm going to try to show you the best one right now. And so what I am about to show you is a wish list plant, by the way. It is the Anthurium Silver Blush, and look at that beautiful leaf right there. That leaf looks fantabulous. It looks absolutely gorgeous. So like I said, this is going to be my first Anthurium, so thank you AroidAsia for sending this to me. But if we flip around here, you can see this is the leaf that I was saying. It doesn't look that great. It's hard probably for you guys to tell, but it is quite yellow compared to the other leaf I just showed you. Future Drea here. Upon closer inspection and better lighting after I was done filming the video, you guys, I realized that this leaf actually is okay. It just hasn't fully hardened off yet. It just looked way yellower in the horrible lighting in the living room because these plants did arrive later in the day than anticipated. So I was having to do a different light setup than I'm used to doing, and it was casting a very yellow glow onto that leaf. And honestly, the other two leaves are starting to yellow a little bit, so I'm thinking maybe this plant is a little bit dry around the roots, but let me go ahead and get the packaging off of the roots and we will see what we're looking at. Okay guys, so the good news is I got the saran wrap off of the base here, and as you can see, this is just like paper towelish type stuff. I don't know if it's actually paper towel or not. Yeah, I think it's basically just paper towel, but it still feels moist, so that's a good sign. So let's just get this kind of unwrapped, and like I said, we'll see what we're working with. And I will say this package was supposed to be here yesterday. There was apparently a mishap with the address situation getting delivered to my post office. I don't know what happened, but I had to have it rerouted to be directly delivered to my house today. The whole situation made me a little nervous because obviously I already knew how long this plant had been in the mail, and I really wanted it to get here yesterday so I could get everybody out of this box and start, you know, rehabbing and acclimating anybody that needed it. Okay, I'm starting to be able to see roots here. Let's see. I feel like I'm unwrapping a mummy, you guys. Look at all this. It's like we are unbandaging a mummy. But I want to see how the roots are looking here for you guys. And this is one thing I highly recommend doing anytime you receive any plants in the mail, but especially if you're receiving imported plants. Make sure you take a close look at the roots. Make sure that they don't look like they're rotted. If they do look like they have some root rot or anything weird going on, definitely document it, take photos, contact the seller. And unfortunately, there does look like there is a little bit of rot on these roots, you guys. So if you can see, if the camera will focus, there we go. So some of these roots look really good, but if you can see right here, that is like where roots have rotted off, and then just that fine piece is left in the middle. Now the good news is that a lot of the roots here still look pretty good. Some of these ones higher up are a little bit questionable to me as well. You can see up there where they're kind of looking a little bit brown. But all in all, I think there's enough healthy roots on here that this plant should do okay. Future Drea here again. So I go into detail about this a lot more in the acclimation video that I filmed right after this, but I just wanted to make sure you guys were aware that slight rot on a few roots is not unexpected when you're importing plants and they've been in a box that long. Oftentimes roots will get accidentally bent during the packaging or traveling process. They don't completely break off, but below where they were bent, they can start to die and rot. That is not unexpected. Only when you have a severe case of root rot where like the majority of the roots are affected would you need to be concerned and contact the seller. In the case where it's just a few roots, you just need to remove the rot and proceed forward as normal. So I'm going to go ahead and set this beautiful one aside, and we are going to open our next plants. All right, you guys, so I think we're going to open what looks like the smallest plant in here next, or at least it's the smallest one on top. And I am actually shocked that this plant is in here just reading what this plant is, because when AroidAsia reached out to me, they did ask me, like, are there any particular plants you'd be interested in? I gave them like a list of plants, and I didn't really know for sure if they were going to send me like all the plants that I said I was interested in or not. But I am realizing now, looking at what this plant is and another one that I can see now, that they sent me some plants that also were not on my list. And this one that I'm opening right now is one of them. And I just have to say, I don't know if the people over at AroidAsia are mind readers or something, but this plant that I am opening right now first came onto my radar probably only a matter of days before AroidAsia reached out to me saying, hey, we want to send you some plants. And I actually had taken a screenshot of this plant on Instagram from the first time that I had seen it, because I was thinking, man, I want to add that to my wish list when I revise my wish list for 2023. So this plant was going to be getting added to my wish list, and I am completely shocked that they had no way of knowing that. I haven't even told you guys that it was going to be added to my wish list. Like I said, I took that screenshot like a mere days before they reached out to me. So I feel like y'all are mind readers sending me this plant. And I do think, oh, that's sad. That is sad. That is sad. Well, I was really excited to receive this plant, but this plant is not looking so hot. This plant looks like it might be dead. So this was, and I will flash the screenshot up here for you. I think you pronounce it Labisia is what this plant is. And I think the variety of the one that I'm flashing up on screen for you is a turtleback, if I recall correctly. It looks like this one they sent me. It just says Labisia Riau on the packaging around it. It looks like it's pinker than what I flashed on screen for you. But you guys, this plant's not happy. This is not a happy plant. No, we look really dried. Really, really dried out. And oh, this is so depressing. I'm hoping when we unwrap the roots, maybe it's salvageable, but oh, it does not look happy. And I will tell you guys as well, these plants took like quite a weird journey. And I really am kind of confused. And so I am going to tell AroidAsia, because on this package, there is a U.S. Department of Agriculture sticker, and it basically says that this plant was supposed to get inspected in Humble, Texas, which is not too far away, I think, from Houston. But for some reason, this plant went from Indonesia to Los Angeles to Cincinnati, Ohio, to Houston, and then here. That's right. I said Cincinnati, Ohio. And remember, I told you guys I had asked them to wait to ship these because we had record cold temperatures down here, but now we're having like record warm temperatures, so I wasn't worried about any kind of cold damage happening on these plants. But then when I saw it went through Cincinnati, I was like, what the heck is it doing in Ohio? And I checked the temperatures in Ohio, and they were not exactly the warmest. They weren't exactly the coldest the week it was there, or the days that it was there. So at least that's good, but I still am confused about why the heck it went to Ohio. That is very odd. So there is a possibility that some of these plants are going to be cold damaged from being there, because they were there overnight too. It was like one of those things where they arrived at like, 10 p.m. and they didn't leave until 4 in the morning, which is like the worst time for them to be in Ohio. And hopefully they were in a I don't know, temperature controlled warehouse, but I don't know what the situation was. I will say these roots on this one are very tightly packed compared to the last one. I'm having a little bit more difficulty getting the saran wrap off, but man, I'm really hoping this plant is okay. It's never fun unboxing like a dead plant. And they were super nice to send me these plants, and all they asked in return was that I do an unboxing video about the plants and, letting you guys know where they came from. And so I also just hate having to open like plants that don't look good from somebody who does that. But also I'm going to be truthful with you guys. I'm not going to like open this, see that it looks like this, and then not show it to you and only show you the plants that look good in here because, well, let's face it, once again, no matter who you're ordering plants from online, plants that are being shipped to you, there's always a possibility that something is going to go wrong. And so it's just the facts, the facts of the situation. And I will say this paper towel feels a lot drier. It's still a tiny bit moist, but it feels a lot drier than the last one. And because this plant is looking so sad, you guys, I'm going to immediately go grab some water and put this just directly into a jar of water to see if maybe we can't somehow salvage this poor little guy. I'm so sorry, little guy. I feel so bad for you. You've been stuck in this box forever. Come on, almost there. Okay. Okay, we have roots. They are super fine. I am not familiar with this plant, so super familiar other than the fact that I thought it was beautiful and added it to my wish list. So I don't know if it's just naturally a fine root plant, so it might be. Hopefully you can see how fine that root is. And the rest of them are kind of stuck up there around that stem. Now, I don't want to mess with them too much because they are so fine. I don't think anything's rotted. I think this plant is just severely dehydrated. So I'm gonna go grab a glass of water and get him in the water real quick, and then we'll open the next plant. All right, you guys, we are in a tiny little glass of water here. I didn't want the whole plant to fall into a glass of water, and so this was the only one I had that looked like it was gonna keep it upright to where it didn't fall out. Now, while I was putting it in that water, I did check more closely. I'm gonna see if you can hear this. The mic's up here, so I'm gonna hold the plant up here. Can you hear that? I'm not sure if you guys are going to be able to hear that well on video or not, but it is very crispy. However, there is one leaf in the very middle here. It's one of the newest leaves that came out that is not totally crispy. It is just starting to barely crisp up. So I'm really hoping that this plant is going to bounce back. Oh, I am so sorry, little guy. Hopefully he will bounce back. I'll be sure to keep you guys updated, but let's go ahead and get everybody else out of here in case anybody else is that bad off as well. Oh, poor baby. Okay. If you're keeping count, I'm technically going to count that as 2 wishlist plants, even though that one hadn't actually been added to my wishlist yet. It was going to be added this week when I filmed my updated 2023 wishlist video for you guys. So we're going with, we have now received 2 wishlist plants. Okay, I'm preparing myself for perhaps more dead plants, but I'm going to try to be positive, you guys. Hopefully it's not going to be dead. So a little bit about this plant I am about to open. This is a plant that I didn't actually have it on my wish list yet. I had been thinking about putting it on my wish list. I'm probably going to take one of the plants that is on my wish list off now that I have received this plant, assuming this plant is okay, because, well, I'll explain more kind of after I open it, but I'm definitely, like, if I was going to receive one of these, and I'm going to give you a heads up, it is a philodendron. If I was going to receive one of these climbing philodendron, it is a climbing philodendron, this is definitely the one that I would want to receive. I'm super excited about this. I'm telling you, this packaging is amazing, you guys. There is so much tape. I'm like, I thought after opening the first one, like I was like, okay, learning curve over. I know how they packed them now, but this one's packaged a little bit differently. So now I'm trying to figure out where all the tape is so that I can make sure that I can gently get this off without messing anything up. Like, you can't fault their packaging. I think it's just a question of either they were just in here so long, and that plant was really small too, like not a lot of roots to help sustain it. And then also I'm worried about the fact, like I said, that it was in Ohio overnight when it was only like low 40s, high 30s out. Oh, I can see stem. I can see stem. All right, one leaf is free. Let me see how it looks. Oh, good news, you guys. It looks good. That leaf looks good. So at least I am pretty sure we are not going to be looking at a almost dead plant again. Okay, you guys, almost done, but Toby has decided to come join us. Toby, stay out of the plants, okay? They've been on a long journey here. They don't need you messing with them. Toby, no. Hey, Toby, it's not for you. Oh my gosh, you guys. Toby has definitely come to join us, and I put some extra things of water out here just in case we ran into any other, like, desperate looking plants, but Toby thinks I put them out for him, so he's trying to drink the water out of the glasses that we got out for the plants. Toby, now he's chewing on the box. I'm telling you, like, he wants to be involved in the process, I guess, but we don't need to eat the box. Quit. You're being a goof. Hey, if you're a good boy, you can have shower time after this. Hey, only if you're a good boy. Quit chewing on stuff. Okay, you guys, we are 100% free. We are mini leaves. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4 leaves and a new one coming in. We like to see that. So this is the ever so beautiful Philodendron Splendid. So like I said, this is a climbing philodendron, and this is a cross between a melanochrysum and a verrucosum, if I recall correctly. I'm pretty sure that's right. So definitely a climbing philodendron. I'm definitely going to have to get some more pull situations for this plant going, and I am like actually thinking of several places I could put this plant. Super excited about that. We'll save that for another video. We do have some roots up here, if you can see, that are kind of like a bit dry and scraggly, but I think this is just where we had aerial roots before. And I will tell you guys that this package of plants got delivered way later than I was anticipating. We are chasing the light right now, so if the lighting in this video starts to get a little bit crazy looking, my apologies, but I wasn't gonna wait till tomorrow morning to film this because once again, these plants needed to get out of this box. But all of these leaves look pretty good to me. So I'm kind of impressed that this guy has handled this journey so well, but let's get the packaging off of the roots and let's see how we fared in that regard. Okay, so while I'm getting this packaging off of the roots, the plant that I'm probably going to take off of my wish list now because I got this plant is actually my Philodendron gloriosum, which was the one crawling philodendron that I had featured in my wish list video last year. And the reason I'm probably going to take that one off is because I absolutely love the velvetiness of these leaves on this plant I just got, equally as much as I do on the Philodendron gloriosum. And I think because now I have a velvet leafed philodendron, because the only other velvety leaf philodendron I currently own is my Micans. And so now that I have this one, I'm thinking that maybe what I'll do is I'll hold off on having the gloriosum for a while and take it off my wish list and replace it with a different crawling philodendron. And I'm leaning towards, I think maybe the Plowmanii with its super billowy leaves, because I definitely want to have a crawling philodendron. And that one is kind of like, I would go back and forth between the Plowmanii and kind of the gloriosum, but it was just those beautiful velvety leaves on the gloriosum that I absolutely loved. And since I didn't have a velvety leafed larger variety of philodendron, that's why I had chosen the gloriosum. But since this is so beautiful and velvety, we're gonna swap that gloriosum out for probably the Plowmanii. We'll see. I am gonna be filming that wishlist video for you guys in 2 days. So let me see if I can figure this out. I think you're gonna get this video, you're watching this on a Saturday. This coming Wednesday is when you're gonna get my updated wish list video. And this mummy wrapping on these roots is being a little bit difficult to get off too. Here we go. And it does feel quite moist. This feels much more moist than on the poor little Labisia. Oh my God. I still just keep looking at it. I'm like, I'm so sorry, plant. You'll be okay. Please bounce back. There's a very distinct odor coming off of here, you guys. I'm really hoping these roots are gonna look okay. It's not exactly a bad odor, but it's not exactly a great odor. Please don't be rotted. And sometimes you guys, when you get plants in, just depending on where they're coming from and what the rules and regulations are where you live, sometimes you'll get them bare root like this. Sometimes you'll get them in moss. Sometimes you will actually get them in like cocoa core or cocoa chips or things like that. Rarely, unless you are just ordering within your own country, will you get them in soil, because most countries have rules that plants cannot be shipped in soil because soil tends to be a harbinger for bugs and things of that nature. So that definitely makes things a little bit more difficult on the plant when they have to be shipped this way, especially from that long of a distance. But, you know, we're protecting the ecological system of the country by doing that. Okay, these are sticking a little bit. These roots are looking pretty fine. And once again, I've never owned this kind of type of philodendron, like a big vining, climbing philodendron before, so I'm not sure entirely what to expect on the roots for these, but these roots do look fairly equivalent in size to like on my philodendron micans. So I think we are looking okay from that regards. And I only bring that up because sometimes, like, if roots have gotten too dry in shipping, they'll shrivel and they'll shrink in diameter, but I don't think necessarily that is what is going on here. Some of these do look pretty dry though. I think we're running a risk here of kind of a dry rot situation. So that is another reason why I'm just going to put this one just directly into water right now, is because I want to get those roots rehydrated, because they definitely are super dry. And then once they've had time to rehydrate, I will definitely be like trimming some of these off and everything. But once again, I will cover all of that in the acclimation video that I'm gonna be filming for you guys like immediately after this. And I will be showing you like daily updates in that video, like on how the plants are doing. But right now I'm gonna use one of these other vessels of water I brought out just to go ahead and get this guy in there, because these roots are looking a little bit too dry for my liking. And anyways, well, once again, super beautiful though. We seem to have traveled better than the other plant that we looked at a second ago. So thank you, AroidAsia, for this beautiful plant. Let me set him down over there. Please don't fall out of your jar. Okay, yeah, you'll lean in a little bit, but you'll be all right. Okay, so we're still at 2 wish list plants, 1 non-wish list plant. We've got 4 more plants to go. Ooh, was not expecting to see that plant in here. And it's really big. Okay, this isn't going to be another interesting one. Let me tell you a story. I hope you guys are enjoying story time and I am not just boring you by taking too long to get through this packaging here. But this plant, okay, this, once again, are you mind readers over there at AroidAsia? This is kind of like creeping me out a little bit. Y'all been stalking me like you have access to my phone I don't know about or something. But okay, so this is a genus of plant that I have quite a few of. Actually, I think it might be the third most out of all my plants. Like I have more prayer plant family plants than anything else. And then I think peperomias come in second in terms of how many I own. And then this species I'm pretty sure comes in third. And I took a while to get into this. Did I just say species? I meant genus. It took me a while to get into this genus of plants, as I have seen it happen with a lot of people. A lot of people never get into this genus of plants. But I am typically only attracted to certain species with certain characteristics in this genus of plants. The funny thing is, this one I'm opening right now is probably the one I am least attracted to. It is one that I probably would have had on my I'm never gonna own list. But I have been pondering a lot lately. If I were to just be gifted one of these plants in this genus that were not a species in the genus that I am typically attracted to, would it grow on me? Would I like start to like it more if I actually had it in my home and was caring for it? And so I think it's funny because the one that they sent me, not only is it like the one I'm least attracted to in the genus, but if I was going to get this species in this genus, this particular variety is the one that I would have gotten. So that's why I'm like, how did you guys know? Like, so not only did they like get the best variety of this to give me, choose the best variety of this to give me, I guess I should say, but like it's perfect because I've been saying I want to test if owning one of these would make me like feel differently about the plant. So I'm kind of excited they sent this to me, even though it's not one that I would have picked out like for myself if I was just shopping in a store. And this one is like very interestingly wrapped. I don't know, every time I open one of these, it's wrapped a little bit differently, but at least it's nice and secure like I've been saying. I'll try get, and this is one of those plants too where, considering how big it is, I'm kind of confused about where the leaves are and everything in this, so I want to be extra careful so that I don't accidentally like cut through something. Oh my gosh. Has anybody guessed what genus this is? Like, once again, let's just have fun while I'm trying to like grapple with packaging and tape here. Comment down below if you think you know what genus of plant it is that I am referring to here. And if you do know what genus of plant it is, maybe guess what specific species it is that I'm not like super attracted to. And I will say the plants in this genus that I am most attracted to tend to be the ones with the smaller leaves and the longer, narrower leaves. The ones I tend to be least attracted to are the ones with the biggest leaves and like the widest leaves. And then also sometimes texture. There's a texture to some of the leaves on plants in this genus that I just am kind of like meh about. And I think this is one of them. If I recall correctly, even this variety kind of has like a pretty distinct texture to it on the leaves. But we're about to find out because I am almost through this packaging. Oh my god, you guys. That leaf is huge. That is the biggest leaf I have ever seen in person on a plant of this genus. Like, oh my gosh. Okay, guys, right as I went to hold this one up to the camera for you guys, my camera battery died. Rude, camera, rude. All right, you guys, here it is. Seriously, this bottom leaf on this thing, I have never seen a Hoya leaf this big. So if you did guess that I was talking about Hoyas, I am talking about Hoyas. And the specific Hoya species is the Macrophylla, but this is the red variety of the Macrophylla. And I will say right now, looking a little bit more orange than red. That might just be because it's been tucked away in this poor little box. But can we just talk about this leaf down here? I don't even know if this thing is like, we're gonna have to do this. I don't want you to touch the Monstera just in case there's some kind of pests or something, which there shouldn't be. But look how big that leaf is, you guys. It's like the size of my hand. It's literally like the size of my hand. It's massive. But you can see what I'm talking about like the texture. It has kind of that veiny, raised vein texture to it. And I can't believe how like big that leaf is. And this is like a very decent sized Hoya plant here, I must say. And these leaves do have a little bit of damage to them, but I don't think it's like from shipping. There's just some holes in some of the leaves probably. you know, just things that had happened to this plant while it was growing. But you can see how it's going to be reddish colored. Like I said, it does look a little bit more orange now. And once I get it acclimated and get it into the right kind of light, it'll probably help to bring out that reddish color to it more. I'll try and find a photo of like one that hasn't been like in a box for a week to show you guys. So I do really like the coloring. That's why I said this is the one that I would want to try for myself if I was to like try one to see if it would grow on me. No pun intended. But oh my gosh, it's just, those leaves are so big. I was not expecting that. And this is one I'm definitely gonna probably have to let climb. So once again, I gotta acquire some like poles here pretty quickly. But let's get the roots unwrapped and see how they are looking. Okay, so good news is it does feel damp. So pretty damp, pretty almost as damp as the first one we opened. So hopefully we don't have like dry roots or anything like that. Now, honestly, guys, I was just thinking while I was cutting through the saran wrap on this, I'm not sure where I'm gonna put this stinking Hoya. It is like, it's gonna take up some space, especially with those giant leaves. And I need it in a nice bright window. I'm looking at my southern windows here in the living room. I don't know, I'm gonna have to think about it, but it's gonna be a while before I have to put it right in front of a window anyway, because it's obviously gonna have to acclimate. Okay, we can see, let's see, I can see some rootage. Getting our mummy wrapping off of these roots. We aren't super like trying to stick to them or anything, so that's good. I think we're doing pretty well. You know, Hoya roots are typically very fine, and so I always get a little bit more worried about fine root plants when they have to be shipped, that they're gonna dry out too much. These roots actually look really good, you guys, really good. I'm gonna have to hold it upside down for you because, I mean, I don't know what I'm supposed to do with that. I wasn't expecting this plant in the first place because obviously it was not on my list, but it is definitely bigger than I expected. But look at those roots. Those actually look pretty good. They don't look too dried out. Might be a little bit dry on some of the places, but I'm not really seeing any rot even. Oh, there's one, like, hold on, let me set it down. This came right off. It is definitely rotted. It's so small, I don't know if the camera will focus. There we go. It is definitely rotted. It is dark, and when you pull on this end, it comes off. There's the finer part from the inside right there. So that's definitely rotted, but it came right off. Like, I kind of feel like maybe it was already detached from the plant, but all in all, I'm not really seeing any rot up there. But holy, okay. Once again, I'm going to try to put all these right into water just because they have been here so long, and they aren't as wet as I would like them to be. But once again, I wasn't expecting a plant of this size, so I need to go find something that will be stable enough for this plant to stay in water in. So give me 1 second. Okay, I've got a very interesting jerry rig situation going on. I'll flash some footage in here for you of what I just did with that plant. But at least it's not falling over. So let's move on. And woo, I am just realizing I am probably going to be paying a $15 no-show fee for the workout class I was supposed to do today, because I don't think there's any way we're going to get this done in time for me to leave and go do that. It's already 4:15, and I really am just concerned about getting this done before we totally lose the light. So, oh, well then, maybe we'll wait on that one. Let me see what we got left. How many have we opened? Have we really opened 4 already? We did the Anthurium, the Philodendron splendid, the poor little Labisia, the Hoya. Yeah, we have 2 left. Okay, we'll go ahead and do this one. I was not expecting this one either. This is, once again, a plant that quite frequently, I just am not, I see them in stores a lot, not this specific one, like, I'll tell you in a second. But anyways, I see the regular all green version of this plant in the stores quite frequently. I have never really been a big fan of it. I see them in other people's like YouTube videos and I'm like, oh, kind of like it, but then when I see them in person, I'm kind of like, but I could get this instead. But this is a variegated one, and I think the variegated ones are quite beautiful. So I'm kind of happy that, once again, this is a plant that was not amongst the plants that I listed when they asked me about plants I was interested in. So this is just something they chose to send on their own. So just in case you're keeping track, so far they've sent me 3 plants that were not on the list of actual plants that I was interested in, and then we've opened 2 that are ones that I was interested in, and the last one, you guys, I am so excited about the last one. I just got like goosebumps. Okay, but anyways, let's get through this one first. All right, this packaging is coming off way easier off of this one. What the heck? Why is this one so much easier? Oh, we're very yellow. So far, the first 1, 2, 3 leaves I've uncovered are like completely yellow. The fourth one, partially yellow. Not what we like to see. Maybe the last one. The stems, I'm looking at the stems. This last leaf that I'm about to uncover, the stem looks very green on. So that's a good sign. Oh, okay. Still starting to turn yellow. It's going to be hard for you to even tell what this plant is because it is looking so yellow right now. But this is a variegated Monstera adansonii. Hard to tell right now because we have a bunch of yellow leaves. But the best looking leaf up here, well actually it's got a new leaf that just came out of there, so that's nice. When that one hardens off, it'll probably look a little bit better. Let me do my best to show this to you here. So, and hard to tell about the variegation on here right now, partially just because of everything trying to turn yellow. But once again, I usually see the all green forms of adansonii in the stores, and I'm just not a huge fan, but I do like how the variegated ones look. So let's hope that we can get this one to bounce back. Here's the newest leaf. I'm gonna have a hard time holding it up here where you can see it and covering my face so the camera will focus, but you can see it's lighter green colored right now because it hasn't fully hardened off yet, but it doesn't look yellow. So that's a good sign, but you can see on the stems, like some of them are very yellow and only that one, like, or 2, I guess, are like still green. So I'm guessing that we are a little bit dried out in here, but let me get the roots uncovered and we'll see. Okay, so the paper around the roots is definitely moist. It's not quite as moist as on some of the other ones that we have unwrapped. And I will tell you guys, I am not 100% certain whether I am going to let this plant be a climber or let it trail, because I really do like the look of trailing plants more often so than letting plants climb. But obviously some plants, like the Philodendron splendid, I mean, it's just gonna be huge. You can't let that kind of philodendron really like trail. It would look ridiculous. So that one definitely, you know, is gonna have to be a climber, but this could be either or. I think it's just gonna depend on where I have space to put it as to whether it is going to be a plant that I let climb or if I let it trail. Almost got these roots uncovered here. Fingers crossed they look okay. Ooh, we're getting a little bit sticky to some of them. I don't like that. That makes me think like we've gotten a little bit dry when we are starting to stick to things. Oh, I'm gonna have to be very careful here. Good news is there are a lot of roots, definitely a lot of roots. So far, we don't look unhealthy. We don't look like rotted or anything like that. We have some like debris. There's a leaf stuck in these roots, it looks like. Wasn't expecting that. Ooh. There's definitely some nice aerial roots that were starting kind of off at the top of this, and they are looking super healthy. This plant's gonna recover. We may lose leaves, but I think we should be fine to make a full recovery. And I mean, that's a lot of roots, you guys. Look at that. That is a lot of roots. Those roots look fabulous, but do you see that leaf? There's a leaf stuck there in those roots. So let me free this leaf out of here. So we definitely don't need to put that in water with this plant. Okay, well, I'm pretty excited about that. You can see once again up here on the stem where it was starting to kind of turn yellow up here. There is a little bit of yellow down there, but we have roots coming out of this nice bright green spot right here. So I'm gonna pop it into some water. If that bottom part where the stem is a little bit yellow starts to look like it's not gonna make it, I will just end up trimming that off. But that's a lot of very nice roots on that plant. Makes me feel a whole lot better about how the upper part's looking. And after all, you guys, it is all about the roots with the plant. As long as you have healthy roots, you should be able to like bring the plant back. I may need a bigger glass of water for all of these roots. I do. Yeah, I'm gonna have to go get a bigger vessel again. I wasn't expecting such like big root systems on this plant and such a big plant with the last plant. So once again, give me 1 second. All right, you guys, on to the last plant. I am so excited about this plant. I am hoping that it is looking fabulous. It is definitely a wish list plant. I will go ahead and let you know. So if you guessed 3 wish list plants out of 6, you were right. I'm curious to know if any of you guessed what this plant was though. And this is one of the biggest ones that is in here, although I think arguably that Hoya is just the biggest. I was not expecting that. That was massive. All right, let's get this one unwrapped here. Oh man, I really hope this one is looking good. I am so excited about this plant. Oh my gosh, so excited, so excited. Fingers crossed, everything looks okay on this plant. Whoever taped this one did the tape like the complete opposite directional way of every single other one in here. Why? Why is this one this way? This is harder. Probably more secure, but it's harder to get separated. And this was in the very bottom of the box, so I always also get a little worried about the plants that are in the bottom of the box because they've had all the other plants sitting on top of them. But luckily, everything that was sitting on top of this one wasn't like super heavy. Holding it, this one actually is probably one of the heaviest, so probably a good thing it was in the bottom of the box. We do have yellow leaves again. I'm honestly not surprised considering what we just saw on that last plant. But I do see bright green stems, so that is a good sign. I'm trying to think what the heck I'm going to replace some of these gaps in my wish list with now. I'm not sure. I'll have to go back and check some of my screenshots that I've been taking over the course of the last year. All right, so this plant, I guess, I was going to say it's a climber. It is a climber. In nature, it's a climber, 100%. This is a climber. It's not a philodendron. If you're thinking it's another philodendron, it's not. Ooh. Did I accidentally cut the leaf? Oh, I accidentally cut the leaf. Ah, bad Drea, bad Drea. Okay, I accidentally cut the leaf, but it is yellow. It's one of the yellow ones. It's dying. It's going to fall off. So if I was going to accidentally cut a leaf, at least it was that one. But oh my God, that is depressing. I need to be more careful, more careful. I've been so careful so far. I think I'm just feeling rushed because the light is like dying in here. I mean, I've already like, you know, given up on the going to work out thing. It's not happening. I'm not worried about that. That's not why I'm rushing. I am just rushing primarily because of the light, and I want to get to work acclimating these plants. And like I said, I am planning on filming that as well, which is going to be hard when I run out of light. So, whew, okay, at least it was just the yellow one. The rest of these do look green though, so I'm going to be super careful. But back to the whole climbing thing. Is technically a climber. I don't know why I keep saying that. It is a climber. I can't tell you what I want to tell you about this plant without telling you what this plant is. So let me just speed up unwrapping this real quick. Oh, hell yes. Toby, get out of the water. That water is not for you. It's for the plant. The water is for this plant. It is not for you, sir. I probably couldn't grow plants in water, even if there were ones that could stay in water permanently around here, you guys, because he's so water obsessed. Okay, we've got this plant completely unwrapped. We only have one yellow leaf. We do have 3 leaves, and then I noticed after I got the paper off the leaves that around one of the petioles there was some wrapping similar to what's on the roots, and I wasn't sure why, but then when I got it off I realized why. There's a new leaf coming out and they wanted to protect the new leaf, so thank you for that, AroidAsia. So I'm going to try and hold this up to the camera. It is, once again, the lighting is starting to go down. You might have been able to tell over the course of this video now that I do have a light set up here because the lighting was so low. When I hold this up to camera, if this is putting some kind of weird glare on it, I'm going to turn it off and try to hold it up to the camera for you because I want you to see how beautiful this Monstera Thai constellation is. That's right, Monstera Thai constellation. And it is not even like mild variegation on this. I wouldn't necessarily say it's like super high variegation, but it's definitely at least moderate variegation. So here we go, you guys. Look at that. Look at that beautiful leaf. Look at it. Look at this one. Look at the color of that variegation there on the edge. Oh my gosh, you guys, I am so excited. Here's the other leaf over here. Oh, so beautiful, so beautiful. And then if you see down here, there's the yellow leaf that I accidentally cut. Right there, accidentally cut through that leaf, but that's okay, it's gonna lose that leaf. But if you can see, we do have a new growth point coming in right there. So this is going to be very soon a 4-leaf instead of a 5-leaf Monstera Thai constellation, but I am so happy about this. Now I kept saying it's a climber, but I'm not letting this gal climb yet. I do need to probably give some supports because we're starting to drag the ground just on this side. So initially this, I'm not going to attach it to a pole right away. I like the way the unattached look is, but this is also a ton of vines. This is just one vine. So I probably will put this one on a pole fairly quickly compared to, you know, this one, which I've had for well over a year now and have not attached to anything. But oh my gosh, you guys, I've wanted a Monstera Thai constellation for so long. Oh, it looks beautiful. Okay, let's check the roots. Let's check the roots. I mean, this looks healthy, like except for that one leaf. Like the stems look healthy, everything. So let's get this wrapping off the roots and see how we're doing. Okay, good news. So the paper that's wrapped around these roots feels very, very moist. So that is definitely good. Hopefully everything is looking good with these roots. And once again, I'm pretty freaking excited about these new plants I got, you guys. I definitely am going to, well, I started yesterday making some space in the IKEA cabinet because some of these are going to need some higher humidity while they're like acclimating. And once again, I will be filming everything I'm doing, including putting them in the cabinet and everything as part of the acclimation video that I'm going to start filming right after this. But yeah, I am realizing though I might have to take one of the shelves out of the IKEA cabinet because, like, for example, this guy is going to be a little bit too tall to fit on a single, you know, shelf. There's not enough space there. Ooh, did have what looks like a healthy root just kind of pop off. I guess it was stuck to the paper towel. It didn't feel like it was stuck. Maybe it just got broken, you know, as part of the process of like getting them wrapped up and whatever, being bounced around as it was traveling all the way from Indonesia and then a ridiculous path up through Ohio before coming back past me down to Houston to then come back up to where I am. This is definitely damper than some of the other plants because it's sticking to the roots, like because it's too wet, it's tearing and it's leaving pieces on the roots. Not like, I guess not, that's still sticking, but not sticking because it's dry. It's actually sticking because it's so like damp that it's tearing very easily. Ooh, okay, let go. There we go. Oh, and then this one somehow is like wrapped all around. I don't even know what's going on down here, you guys. We've got two separate wrappings going on, but good news is so far the roots look pretty good. If I can just get all the paper off of them is going to be the hard part here. All right, I'm gonna hold this up, you guys. There's still like bits of paper stuck on here because it's so damp, like I said, but these roots look pretty stinking good to me. Look at that. I don't see any signs of rot on there. They're definitely thick. We are not dried out at all. I will say this is probably the best looking of the root systems out of all of these plants that we've opened up. So this one has definitely traveled well. We do have some slightly like bent, broken roots. You can see that one right there. It's kind of like dangling, but you know, that's gonna happen sometimes in these situations. But all in all, oh, there's one little bitty bit of root that is slightly rotted, but once again, I will just trim that off. It's just one little fine piece there, but all in all, looking pretty good. We have like, you can see the stem is a little bit yellow where this like leaf is attached here, but that leaf is going to die off. I will say the base of the stem is a tiny bit looking yellow, but I really think it's just around that leaf. So I think we're doing pretty good. I think we're gonna be okay. And yeah, I am just like super excited about this. All right, you guys, well, I'm gonna go get this plant popped into some water here in a second, start filming that acclimation video for you guys. But once again, a huge thank you to AroidAsia for sending these plants. Considering what they went through and that they were in Ohio during like, you know, super cold weather and everything, I think we've made out pretty well, with the exception of this poor little guy, which I'm really hoping makes a comeback, but we'll see. I'm gonna put this one probably directly into the cabinet just because I feel like it needs some humidity to help it out. But I hope you guys have enjoyed coming along with me for this unboxing video today. And if you guys have not clicked the subscribe button or the little notification bell, make sure that you do that so that you can get notified when I release the acclimation video for these plants. And also when I release my new wishlist video, which is the next video you're going to be getting, once again, should be coming out this Wednesday. But thank you so much for joining me, you guys, and I look forward to seeing you again next time. Aloha!